Good luck to Tom Hart in that vein on Saturday night, making his pro debut at light heavyweight. Of course, that's the thing about turning over, not after any major international games either. You kind of turn over quietly and just get on with your business. A little bit like what Scott Fitzgerald did. Didn't really capitalise on that Commonwealth success. Had a year off and then turned over in 2017 and didn't get the attention and the press that Anthony Fowler received. Just wonder whether there's a little bit of jealousy and envy. Maybe that sparks what we've seen in the last few weeks.
I guess there's two ways you can look at it. There's the one where it can add a little bit of pressure, and then on the flip side, you can sort of go under the radar. You know you're a good fighter, your amateur pedigree proves that, and you can just go about your business without anyone, any spotlight on you. And I think that's what he's done. With Fowler, it's been the complete opposite. You know, he's been under the spotlight straight away.
So Tom Farrell gunning for Phil Bowes' Commonwealth title.
13 pounds, 5 ounces for Tom Farrell.
Absolutely bang on the weight.
9-13-5. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the reigning and defending Commonwealth Super Lightweight Champion from Layton, Philip Bowes.
Well, he's a slick, almost Cuban-style fighter, Phil Bowes, the Commonwealth champion. Just offering a little over on the scales there.
Yeah, I know, Philip, from amateur days, there was always talent there, bundles of talent. Not the biggest puncher in the world, but one of the quickest fighters I remember seeing in the gym. You know, really, really sharp.
Well, that was a heavy pair of socks. Maybe must have dipped them in water and lead. I don't know what happened there, but he's under, so we have a fight.
13 pounds, 4 ounces for Philip Bowes. 9-13-4.
Nice guy is Phil Bowes, and the success that he's had. Not had an easy road off that loss to Glenn Foot last year, and that was a difficult one. And just wonder whether a guy that's a rhythm fighter like him, it's a rhythm that you need to offset. And for Tom Farrell, he's going to try and get in his face and use a high work rate to disturb Phil and stop him getting into it.
That's exact approach you need to adopt to be the likes of Philip. You know, you need to get on his chest and work away. Tom, we know, has got a fantastic engine, but Phil, you know, he only recently won that Commonwealth title, so he's got his, you know, his eye in. It's good to be, like I've used this word before, being match fit, getting your eye in, and it's so important in boxing.
Farrell, just that one loss on his record, it was a knockout by O'Hara Davies, who we know has his flaws, but we also know can really punch.
Yeah, he can whack. Love him or hate him, there's no denying he carried power in both fists, and yeah, there's no shame in that really. He'll be bitterly disappointed that he lost to him, but.
Bowes and Farrell, 12 rounds for the Commonwealth Super Lightweight Championship, Saturday night of the NMS Bank Arena here in Liverpool, England.
Well, as they both said yesterday, no disrespect between them, all kind of business, and nothing different on the scales there either.
No, look, at the end of the day, we see a lot of manufactured bad blood, if you like, and I don't think there's a place for it. When it's genuine, then it's all good. But with them two, and most of the rest of the sport, you know, it's just business, as they said yesterday at the press conference. May the best man win.
Super Lightweight Championships. Introducing up first to the stage, 17-1, 12 knockouts. He's the former Commonwealth and the reigning and defending British and WBA Continental Super Lightweight Champion, fighting out of Kirby, Liverpool, Robbie Davies Jr.
Well, no doubt Darren, his dad, would be incredibly proud of the reception and knowing his son's achieved his, one stage of his dream, achieving the British title.
17-3, 1 draw, 7 knockouts. He's the former Southern Area, the 2 times English and IBO International, and the reigning and defending European Super Lightweight Champion from Malmesbury, Joe Hughes.
Well, he said yesterday, he said, I've got half of Malmesbury coming, that's about 7 people.
Robbie Davies Jr.
Joe, what, 2 lovely fellas, aren't they? You know, they're not 2 men with loads to say, but when they do talk, you know, they're very respectful and lovely lads. And he's somebody said, you know, bad setbacks outside of the ring of Robbie Davies Jr. losing his dad, who he was extremely close to. And big fan of both of these.
Joe, who's of course born with Erb's palsy. Now I know one of your friends and fighters, Eliza, was cerebral palsy and was boxing as well. What are some of the limitations? I know there are different type of palsy, but some of the kind of limitations and things you had to work around with her when she was boxing.
Well, with Eliza, she couldn't use the left side of her body that well. So, you know, she did have, she could move her arm and she could move her leg, but she didn't really have much motion with it. So we was working on her strong side. And yeah, with Hughes, obviously, I don't know the severity of it, but yeah, it can affect you, but credit to him. I mean, it's a fantastic story, isn't it? Really,
he said essentially he's boxed left-handed for most of his career. He said his right hand, he said he can throw it, but he said there's like a pause between I'm thinking about throwing it and then it goes.
Yeah.
And he said, so really, he said about a lot of fighters' game plans going into it is to try and neutralise his left hand, but when it's so strong and you've had to use it so dominantly throughout your career, that is easier said than done.
Of course. You know what? Like, honestly, what an amazing story. What an amazing story. You know, boxing's full of them, but that really is. I mean, it's amazing. You know, boxing's hard enough when you're 100%. And you know you know when you're fighting your opponent and you're both 100%. But he's obviously not. He's always gonna, you know, he's not going to be 100%. He's always going to be 80% to his opponent. And I just think it's an amazing story. It really is. To be a European champion with that, you know, that, what would you call it? Condition?
Don't know.
You know, it's exceptional. You know, hats off. Yeah. I want to shake it down.
Looking forward to tomorrow night, unification of the British and EBU European Super Lightweight title as well.
Introducing up first, he's undefeated from Birmingham, the undefeated Central Area Heavyweight Champion, Cash
Well, he's brought an entourage with him, and David Price said, with a few expletives yesterday, he couldn't care less about who he brings with him. It's them two in the ring tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's going to be a roar here.
2008 Olympic bronze medalist, 23-64, 19
fight as a professional, won 23 of them today. He had a fantastic 2012, stopped John McDermott, Sam Sexton, Audley Harrison and Matt Skelton, all on the way to becoming British and Commonwealth champion. The train was derailed a year later with those back-to-back defeats to Tony Thompson. We know the David Price story well. He's been hard done by drug cheats, Erkan Tepe, and others along the way, but he's found a new home in boxing. He's a loved man. He's a big fan favourite, and he's boxing without the pressure of old.
You took the words out of my mouth there. He's fighting without the pressure. It's almost as if now he's taken one fight that comes. He's not mapping out his career this late on. He's just like, right, let's just see what happens. Pressure's off. Let's see what happens.
Well, always interesting to see what kind of weight Price he comes in at. We saw him as high as about 285. In the kind of backwater days when he was boxing Christian Hammer. That's the kind of weight we want to see him at. Nearly 6'9", remember. 250, very, very healthy weight for him.
When you hear him Fraser say he's a massive puncher. When you've got too much weight, the shots aren't delivered with the correct speed. You know, you see the shots coming. So when he's a little bit lighter, he can throw those big bombs, but the opponents can't see him coming. And I like seeing Dave down at these weights.
And of course, when you're that big and you've got those levers, you're going to hit no matter what. Therefore, you're better off maximising your attributes and skill and speed, and of course, trying to give yourself, your engine, the best chance possible. And being 30 pounds lighter is going to make the world.
We've seen it with David as well. When he carries that extra weight, he does tend to blow up, doesn't he, in his fights? I think when he's down at these weights, he's not carrying as much, and he's better down the stretch.
Well, we just did not expect the spice between these two, and I have to say it's really adding to the narrative of this fight with Cash Ali bang up for this one. Well, we heard from Fraser Clark just a few moments ago at the top of the show. If you missed it, he said Ali hits harder than you think. Yeah. He said there are levels between these guys, but he said don't write Cash Ali off tomorrow night.
Look, in boxing it's a two-horse race. Anything can happen, especially in the heavyweight division. Hearing Fraser say that Ali hit harder than he thought, and there's always question marks over David Price's chin. I think I'm fair in saying that. So you never know, but it is about levels, and David Price, with his pedigree and what he's achieved in the pro ranks already, he is leagues above Ali.
And now to the scale, ladies and gentlemen, 10 rounds for the vacant WBA International Super Welterweight Championship. It's contested at 11 stone, 69.8 kilos, or 154 pounds. Please welcome to the stage, he's with his trainer and father, Dave Fitzgerald. He's undefeated as a professional, 9-0. He's the former Team GB member, the 2013 ABA champion, and 2014 Commonwealth Games gold medalist. Please welcome Scott, the Badman Fitzy Fitzgerald.
Well, you're just saying there, Darren, of course, mentioning there he's training Dave Fitzgerald, his dad. He moved away from the Jennings brothers, who tried their best with him, said they had a few problems with him keeping on track nutritionally, and maybe those little bits of ill discipline have just led to a lack of opportunities for him over the last 2 or 3 years. That seems to have cleared up now.
Yeah, I mean, looking on the scales, it looks in tremendous shape. I'm not sure, they haven't read out the weight there, and I didn't see it on the screen. I don't know if there's been a problem here or an issue, but I'm here.
11 stone 6 ounces. For Fitzgerald, he will come back after the face-off and re-weigh in. Ladies and gentlemen, now to the stage, also former Team GB Olympian. In 2013, he took bronze at the World Championships. In 2014, he took gold at Glasgow at the Commonwealth Games. Wow. And now his professional record, perfect, 9-0, 8 knockouts. From Liverpool, Anthony, the Machine Fowler.
As always, Anthony Fowler in impeccable condition, never has any problems with the weight. I just paused momentarily because I don't want to jinx it, but well, he's giving himself plenty of leeway, £1.5 pounds, but he's the bigger man really in that ring on Saturday night. Scott Fitzgerald has got a bit of weight to lose.
Yeah, I mean, it was 6 ounces there, wasn't it? It's not ideal, it really isn't ideal, and you can imagine if you're 6 ounces over, what's he been doing this morning already, you know, to get down to that.
Fowler had a bit of a dig at him when he had that tune-up fight some 6 weeks ago now, and said, you know, he's coming 4 or 5 pounds over. What omen does that signal? I remember thinking at the time, well, he's a few weeks out from the fight yet, so give him some time. But well, his premonition has come to fruition.
Yeah, like I say, it's not ideal. You know, when you get to the weigh-in, the last thing you want to do is be over and have to go and skip the last 6 ounces off what you have to do. All you want to do is go and eat and rehydrate. And yeah, it's happened to me before when I was fought for the European title. I had to go back, I had to run around Ali Pali's lake there, and it was just, I was devastated.
I hate to say, Darren, at this stage, any psychological edge you can gain, and no doubt Fowler will be saying something to him about this.
Oh, blimey. I mean, like, he doesn't need any ammo anyway. He's so confident, isn't he? But yeah, having that now, it's a big coup for him.
He's been looking at their physique. Scott's a little bit deeper in his physique than Fowler. He's obviously slightly shorter, but he's quite broad. He's going to go away and make weight.
Here in Liverpool at the M&S Bank Arena, Natural Boxing, Sky Sports, and Dazn.
Well, what a fiery build-up, and finally it comes to a head. I'm quite relieved actually, because I have to be honest, I'm quite tired of turning on Twitter and thinking, how much have I got to read through this week?
Yeah, well, it all gets settled tomorrow night, doesn't it? And that's a great thing about boxing. I'm sure they're embraced. Everyone will embrace, shake hands afterwards, after the respect you gain from sharing the ring.
Championship. Introducing up first to the stage, he's with his head trainer, John Pegg. 24-5 as a professional, 15 knockouts. He's the former Midlands area, Commonwealth, British, European, IBO Continental, and WBC International Champion, fighting out of Birmingham. Please welcome the Savage, Sam Eggington.
Well,
Eggington.
Sam Eggington, 25 years of age still. Forget how much he's achieved as a young man.
Head trainer Joe Gallagher, his professional record, 26 wins, 2 defeats, 1 draw, 14 wins coming by way of knockout. He's one of the 4 Fighting Smith brothers, and as such, he represents an outstanding boxing family tradition, fighting out of his home right here in Liverpool. He's a former WBO junior middleweight champion of the world, Beefy
Part of that quartet of brothers that will write their name into boxing history in a few years' time when they've all retired. He was the first of them, of course, to win a world title. And speaking to him yesterday, he said seeing Callum go to Jeddah and take the title off George Groves has lit the fire under him again, and he really wants to prove that he is a level above Sam Eggington and move back to world levels.
Yeah, I think so, and it's like the second coming of him, isn't it? under the Sky cameras, signing with Matchroom. You know, it's the second crack again, and he's got all the talent in the world, Liam Smith. But it'd be exciting. It's going to be exciting to see how far he does go.
Just wonder how much the crowd is going to influence the action in the ring tomorrow night, because speaking to Dave Caldwell at the hotel yesterday, and he said, look, if Fowler boxes and doesn't get dragged into a tear-up, he can make this quite an easy night's work. But as we've seen with those classic York Hall nights, when you get a bit of a bear pit of an atmosphere, and we know this crowd will create that, some fights that could be more technical than they should be might get dragged in. We might get some real classics tomorrow night.
I think he will get dragged in, if I'm honest. I think it's going to be fireworks whilst it lasts. I think Liam Smith will get to Eggington. I just think he's that good of an inside fighter. But Eggington's going to be on you. And I think Liam Smith is going to stand in the centre of the ring and trade with him. I really do think so. But he's so intelligent with the way that he throws his inside work. You know, when he's throwing left hooks, he keeps his right hand up. He doesn't give you any opening.
Very defensive.
Very defensive. Very, very good in the pocket is Liam Smith. I don't think he gets enough credit for it. And I think he'll be so comfortable, sort of like I say, mixing fire with Sam Eggington.
And I guess it's going to be no caginess because they know each other so well too.
Yeah, exactly. You know, sparring is sparring. You know, it's a tool to help you sharpen up your game. But
never heard that expression before. Sparring is sparring.
Sparring is only sparring. I'm a genius.
Say the week with
no,
Barker.
I'm a genius.
I bet you anything, neither of them have left a stone unturned either.
Like I say, I love these two. So we've seen a bit of needle in the two previous fights, and now these two, like we said, just being there, shaking hands. Look, once that bell goes tomorrow night, I guarantee this is going to be a blinder. Whilst it lasts, this is going to be a great fight.
Here in Liverpool, and brought to you by Mr. Eggington of Matchroom Boxing. Thank you for coming to the official weigh-in, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
MC David Diamante, as usual, on brilliant form, and quite frankly, Darren, take your pick of the action tomorrow night.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm probably going to go with the majority here and go with the Fowler Fitzgerald, because they just, you know, with the pedigree they've both got and the needles between each other, they don't really like each other. I think that's going to potentially steal the show. But like I just said, Smith Eggington for me is going to be fireworks whilst it lasts.
Yeah, cannot wait, and I hope you're looking forward to it as well. Darren and I will be here tomorrow from the M&S Bank Arena around about 1:45, a little bit later, because we've got some very, very special guests, people that you'll know very well indeed. So tune in then on Matchroom Boxing social media, and of course if you're not around for that, catch the action live on Sky Sports tomorrow night from 6 o'clock on Facebook and 7 o'clock on Sky Sports. There's the man, that's us. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks for your company.